This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
I was still on Instagram, that's good.
Why? Has it
I
closed?
thought we might have done something scandalous.
No, not this week.
Okay.
Well, we played a very weird version. Anyway, carry on.
Okay.
Morning.
So, it's been a difficult week.
I know. Well, I think I know what you're going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't want to preempt you.
Come on, you can preempt me.
Okay, great. A couple of people, Frank, more than a couple, I'm going to go full handful, have been in touch regarding your beloved team. I don't think you had the best week, did you?
We should say, we're not going to go hardcore into football, but of course, whenever we talk about football, I try to seek out the human interest element so that there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
But this week, there was a game which would have sent the team I support towards Wembley and then possibly towards the Premier League. Mm-hmm. That great pot of gold in the sky. But despite a certain amount of courageous behaviour, it didn't work out.
Well, James got in touch with us, James K. Design, to say...
Oh, James K. Design.
Yes. I don't know if he's anything to do with Kafka's The Trial. He's the brother of Joseph, perhaps.
Yeah.
A modern update on... well, he basically says, lock up your central reservations, hashtag WBA, hashtag playoffs. Frank is on the prowl.
Yeah, that's because when I used to get very drunk, I used to sleep on central reservations in Birmingham.
Yeah.
I didn't go that far, but I'll tell you what I did do. As I drove back from it, I mean, I didn't get off the car park till 11:30.
Oh, no.
And then they closed the M6, so I'm just driving late at night. I'm old. I thought, can I make it?
Did you have audiobook on?
Oh, thank God I had Big Finish audio books. I got through...
What'd you get through?
3 different Doctor Who's.
Did you?
I got through Davidson, Baker, brackets Colin, and Sylvester.
Okay.
So, yes, thank God for that. I think I might have just driven into the heartbreak Birmingham night.
Right.
Being stuck in the car park is... the last...
When you've lost, it's bad. When you've won, then you just want to sit somewhere and glow.
I don't do that anymore. The last time that happened to
You
me...
stop glowing?
No, I'll never stop glowing.
Doesn't sit in car parks.
No. When I know there's going to be a car park where there's going to be an overflow that's going to make me sit there for longer than about 10 minutes, I don't go to the thing. I just refuse to go.
Wow.
That's a good rule.
I had it once. I didn't go to Ascot for that reason. And the last time it happened to me was Oasis 1996.
You didn't go? Oh,
I
you did
went
go.
and I got stuck in the car
in
park. I thought, I
traffic.
won't be doing this again. So, as a result of
strict.
Oasis...
Do you like that, though? It's sort of a moment of, like, I think I'm ready to make a big decision.
No, but it's the reverse of deferred gratification.
Right.
Because when you park,
Yeah.
to be able to park right next to the ground before the game is brilliant.
Right.
So I don't think about tomorrow. In fact, it's the drinker's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
When I park and I just walk out, brilliant. And then I'll worry about that long...
You're the opposite of Annie in many respects.
I am.
And I love you for that.
The opposite of Annie could be my motto. Yeah, and also I had one of those... I was one of those do-gooders in front of me in the queue who kept letting people in.
Oh,
People who were cheating by going halfway down the queue and he was letting them in.
I don't like that.
What?
Can I just have an update?
I was looking for the fish sticker. There wasn't one. It was just a nice bloke. Yeah. I once went to Greenbelt, the Christian festival, and there was I was stuck in traffic and I realised, and I'm not making this up for comic effect, there was 3 people at a roundabout trying to give way to each other. Christian traffic, it doesn't work. You can't make it work.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Jack Grealish,
Oh, yeah.
ring any bells?
Yes.
Are you familiar with his work?
Is he a footballer?
He is.
Yes, I've heard of
Plays
it.
for Aston Villa.
well
And I hate to say, but he's He's a very good player. Right?
Okay.
And
That's big of you.
but I'll tell you something. I was watching him, and he's a handsome young chap, and everything said to me that he had gone through several pairs of kit shorts until he'd found ones that were a bit snugger than everyone else in the team.
Oh, had he?
I think someone's told Jack that he's got a fabulous derriere.
All right.
And I'm not saying that they've given him misinformation, because he has, but by goodness me, he has framed it.
All right.
He has put it in the shop window. Someone said to me, the rumour is that he's going to play under the auspices of the Black Chicken next year for Tottenham.
That will just sound like such gobbledygook,
Yes.
doesn't it? With this
I know, but I always
Even
think that
football fans might be lost by that last bit.
I always think the listeners we've got we've probably got the ones we're going to get by
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Do you know when you watch X Factor or something like that?
No, I don't.
I don't.
Okay.
I never have.
Or Britain's Got Talent.
I know.
And someone
Yeah.
comes on and you think, well, where have
I
you
paid
been?
attention at
Where have
school.
you been for the last 10 years?
Right.
Why now? Why now
Yeah.
have you come forward with this talent?
Mm-hmm.
What have you been sitting at home and thinking, oh, hold on a minute, this is like Series 8. Oh, I see. So people with the talent. What about that thing actually, I might do. Where have they been? Are they in an enormous holding pen? Anyway, so someone said to me, he's going to Tottenham next year, and I think he will balk at having to wear dark shorts.
Oh.
I think that will let him down.
I thought you meant bulk.
Oh, bulk up.
No.
If he makes the most of all those bottomless pint glasses there.
I think he's going to lose a bit of definition in a Tottenham Hotspur short. I think he might change his destination for that reason.
Interesting.
Well, when I watch this space, we'll see.
We'll
what
have
happens.
him down our way.
If that transfer falls apart and he stays...
Or go
If that
somewhere with white shorts.
If that transfer falls apart, I would love it.
So, because I had many thoughts on the night. For example, they had at half time. I once went to the cup final with an American girlfriend, and they had a brass band come on, and she said, "Hey, they have a halftime show." And so I always think of it as the halftime show.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And what they did, they had like a big. Well, it's a sort of like a dartboard.
Okay.
But you lie it flat on the pitch. It's like a cloth dartboard.
Oh, yes, I understand
Right.
what you're saying, yes.
And then a fan comes on and he has to kick the ball and he has to get it to stop in one of the segments.
Oh, okay. Sounds fun.
Yeah, you can't quite see what the segments are is the
Oh,
problem
that's a
unless
shame.
you're in the very highest seat. So it's basically a bloke trying to stop a ball on a blanket.
Right.
That's what you watch. If you imagine it's like an annoying person at a picnic.
Yes.
So anyway, he rolls the ball down. First time he misses, crowd give him a bit of stick, you know. Ooh. Next time he does get it on the blanket. I'm relieved for him.
Yes.
The guy says, "Well done." He has a look at his list and he says, "You've won a lucky dip." And I thought, well, hold on. This is like the Hall of Mirrors phenomenon. You just can't carry on winning another go at something forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next time I can see, even from my vantage point, he's gone much more central. And I thought, well, thank God for that. He's actually got something. And the bloke looks at his list and said, right, you've won air freshener.
Air freshener.
Oh.
Air freshener? I mean, he was in the...
Does it,
You know the
does it mean
narrow
for the
bit?
hair?
No,
Oh, okay.
air.
Oh, okay, right. No, I just thought it was an accent thing. You get
So
hair.
that was pretty much the top prize, was some air
Well, he
freshener.
didn't
Air
get the ball. I don't know what the
But
bullseye
close to-
would have been. Scratchings?
Oh. Terrible.
I mean, come on, guys. It was a playoff semi-final. When Zoopla
Yeah.
used to... Zoopla?
Yeah.
When they sponsored us, they used to bring a big wooden house, like two-dimensional house front.
Did they?
And the prize was... Bear in mind, this is a man who's just won a lucky dip and an air freshener, right? If you got a football through the window of the wooden two-dimensional house, you won a house.
No.
You won a house with it. This bloke
That
won
is a
air
great
fresh.
prize.
See, when we was in the Prem, you could win a house, and
Yeah.
now we're in the Championship, you can win air freshener. That, if anyone ever asks you the difference between those two things, that is the answer.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, here's a question, Fred, that struck me while I was watching the match the other night.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you buy smoke bombs from?
Good question.
Could you get to
8,
Halfords?
12, 15.
That's, I mean, they're
what
not
are
selling
they
them at
for?
the club shop, are they?
No,
'Cause-
what is
I know
that?
where you
they
buy
get,
stink
they get the
bombs.
colours, though. They always get the right colour.
Oh, well, maybe they are selling them at the club
You're
shop.
right.
We
Who
found the culprit
sells
immediately.
those?
Do they have another use? Do they have an industrial, practical
Yeah.
use?
I mean, if I met someone and I said, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" He said, "I manufacture smoke bombs."
Yeah, I think he was an anarchist, though. But these are clearly, you
Oh,
see
no,
it.
this is a
Well,
capitalist.
recreational items, but you're absolutely right. I mean, the odd parade, maybe.
Do you think they're part of the firework market?
Yeah.
They're a bit of
must
a damp
be.
squib. I mean, they don't go very high, do they?
There's something I sort of, when I see one at a match, though, like if it's like, I don't know, Liverpool and it's a red smoke bomb, I think, oh, that's it, you've done your prep. You haven't just,
Yeah.
you haven't just gone in and picked a smoke bomb at random.
When we see smoke bomb, maybe is it just chalk or something? Is it?
It's red or blue. I think Villa had
What
like
are the
a sort
fibres
of,
in the smoke, Frank?
I think Villa had claret smoke in there.
Very specific.
Smoke
They
bomb.
went oxblood.
Yes, I mean, obviously you get it on the dark net.
Oh, yeah.
I know where you get stink
should think
bombs.
so.
Oh, yeah.
Because stink bombs always had that very distinctive. There was a cartoonist who only seemed to do jokes. Are you familiar with his work?
No,
He
about
would-
stink bomb.
He would do cartoons on the cover of a stink bomb packet.
Oh, yes.
And I never saw his work elsewhere.
It's that fabulous thing in comics where lines coming off something could tell
Oh,
you
yeah.
all sorts of things. They could tell you something. If it was smelly, there'd be curvy lines going
Yes.
upwards. If someone had got like a sore nose, there'd be straight lines coming off the end of it. I mean, it's really the line work is
The line was
tremendous.
exceptional, and I do think the linesman. I think also the stink bomb artist might have been at least related or trained at the school of, like when Leonardo
Yeah.
had, his apprentices, as a real Bronx cheer artist.
Oh, the whoopee cushion. guy.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, right.
I think they came from the same school.
Yeah, mate, wouldn't it be great to find out it's the same person? Anyway, I don't want one yet.
A smoke bomb.
Yeah, but it just struck me. They don't feel sinister enough to. You have to get them from anywhere horrible.
I mean, we have had a number of. We've had feedback already on this.
Halfords? I'm guessing Halfords.
No, he hasn't been in touch. But clarification: these are for children, not crazy footy fans. Says
Oh.
887.
Oh, so it's a kid's toy thing.
Little bit judgy. You can use smoke bombs for checking chimneys aren't blocked. Gasmen.
Wow.
Different colours to see coming out of chimney in bad weather. That's from-
Excellent. That's
Yeah.
what they've been doing at the Vatican. What about this, by the way? I'll shut up about the game after this link, but after, it ended with a penalty
Imagine if they'd
shoot.
won.
It ended with a penalty shootout, right?
Right.
And before the penalty shootout, 3 penalty takers who would have took penalties had already been gone off and been substituted. So it was
Oh, that's
quite a
tricky.
heavy-duty conversation to decide who the brave 5 would be. So they gathered round, and it was a real, serious, heavy, discussing it. You're asking people to put their nail their
Yeah.
courage to the sticking post, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they were joined by Baggy Bird, the mascot, who seemed to be nodding along and contributing. He was contributing.
I
took
took you get a say.
And what was
wasn't
it?
too big a
but
moment for him.
Stay out of it.
Yeah.
This the club's future is on the line, and there's a giant thrush getting involved in the chat.
I think there might have been an expert in the costume.
No, it was Adrian Chiles. You can't resist getting involved.
No, well, look, I took a photo, so we'll put that on our. What do we put it on, Sarah?
Instagram.
We'll put it on our Instagram. I mean, I was. partly funny, but I thought, no, I don't have the wrong advice to go
Can you
out.
imagine if that happened at an England game?
Well, what's happened now? We're asking cartoon characters to make major... I mean, we've now hit sort of year zero at West Brom, maybe because of something that the giant thrush advised.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We know so much about smoke bombs now.
Oh, loads.
Well, you know what? That's been an education for me, because I did think they might be from some dark, anarchic part of society and illegal and all that.
And the answer is not at all. It's for gas men mainly, or gas people. You use smoke bombs for checking chimneys aren't blocked. And Neil says different colours to see coming out of chimney in bad weather. That's why they have different colours.
Brilliant.
And
Good info.
469 Al says you can get them from paintball and special effects supplies. I use them for photography.
Ah,
About £4 each. I love that he's
That's
given
all?
a price.
I'm out.
£4 each.
4?
That's a bargain, isn't it?
No, it's too much.
I'm bringing one in next week.
What is the
Absolute rip-off.
what is it? What is it contained in?
I like
Is it a
to
little
think
bag?
it's a round black, that it's a black
Like a
sphere.
balloon. I imagine
Right,
a
Like,
balloon.
the, like the bombs of yesteryear.
Yeah.
With the
Yes.
slight thing on the top with a fuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there ever a bomb like that?
Yeah.
Like a sort of
Must have been.
cartoon Daffy Duck Acme bomb company.
Yeah.
bomb.
So sphere, slight tube on the top,
Yeah.
fuse, that kind, with bomb written on it. Did such a bomb ever exist?
I'm sure.
I hope that's true. I
And
don't want to
also-
be hoisted by my own petard.
No.
473 has said, morning all, my dad used to smoke his greenhouse out at the end of every year with a smoke bomb from the garden centre.
But to do what?
They were cone shaped.
Is that
about
to get
4
rid of
inches tall.
insects?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I imagine
I
so.
want to
yeah.
why on this. Why would someone do that? You think it is insects?
Also, in those days, you just sit some old uncle down in there with 20 Embassy.
Yeah, I can't think of any other reason for making a greenhouse a certain colour.
No wonder we never had insects in our house. You can get through the pea super of smoke.
It's the sort of thing Jean-Michel Jarre might try and pull off on a greenhouse. You remember Jean-Michel?
Do I have?
He did the pyramids and made all the pyramids go different colours in his gig.
I base my entire hairstyle on him.
Do you? What a man. JMJ. Anyway, more football news, and this I'm moving away now to a club in having happier times. My son, you may know, supports the Black Chickens.
Oh, he loves black chicken.
So we went along there, and we came away with some booty.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Club shop.
Well, we was in the hospitality section,
Nice.
and
Didn't know Grealish had signed yet.
there was there was there'll be booty
Booty galore.
plus next season. There was at this sort of bit where you got food, there was the biggest, strangest tomato I've ever seen. Not for to be eaten. It was so strange. It had been taken away from the other tomatoes, and there's no tomatoes in the community. They just put it on a shelf, and it became a thing that people went, "Wow, look at that tomato! Incredible!"
It's separated.
Yeah, but it was like not only massive, but like it was all strangely shaped and gnarled.
Oh, was she
Sounds
taking a
terrific.
photo?
Well, as it happens.
He's got pics.
Oh, God.
Boz was so enamoured of this, the chef said, do you want it?
Are
Never.
you joking?
So he gave us the giant tomato.
It's like a Roald Dahl story.
I
Yeah,
love this chef.
it is. It was so kind of him.
It's really cool.
Someone had said
Buzz
to
and
me,
the giant tomato.
if someone had said to me, you're going to leave Tottenham Hotspur with a gift for your child, I would have had 1,000 guesses before I'd have hit the giant tomato. But I did a photo, which I'll also put on Instagram. But
lovely.
I'll tell you why, because I realised as soon as I got my actual hands on it, it was a prop gag waiting to happen.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
So,
That's nice for Kath.
So not only have we got the giant tomato at home, we think we'd eat it. It's his birthday coming up, so we thought we'd eat it this weekend.
Well, that's a
okay,
nice cake for a child.
Yeah.
Birthday
As,
tomato.
Yeah, put a candle on it.
Yeah.
Horrible birthday treat, a tomato.
Do you remember that sketch that Les Dawson used to do with, was it Roy Dotrice, when they used to be like two old women
Talking over the fence.
Yeah. And there was one when Les Dawson had a big salami that he'd bought. Now you can imagine what he took the cover off it in his basket, and this big salami was sticking up. The audience laughed for about 12 minutes without anything being said. And you think, how can you possibly top this? And then he looks at the other woman and says, seems a shame to cut it, doesn't it?
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've just looked at a photograph of you with a tomato right in front of your face. We've done nothing else except stare at that tomato.
Looking good.
It's when a tomato really goes for it.
Yeah.
I think it's symbolic of what we're all achieving. We can all achieve if we really try.
It's a shame you've already put the picture up, because I feel like when a tomato really goes for it could also have been the caption on the Insta.
When a tomato ignores its comfort zone. Oh, it's a biggie.
It's
all
like
right.
it doesn't know the idea of circle.
It's like it hasn't seen other tomatoes.
Yeah.
There once was an ugly tomato.
I love its independent streak.
I wonder what it's going to taste like.
Well, yeah. What if it's like the taste better? I mean,
We'll
the
soon
great
find
thing.
out on Buzz's tomato-based birthday celebration.
Well, the great thing, of course, is tomatoes don't actually taste of anything, so it hasn't got much to.
Good one.
Okay, that's quite controversial because a lot of people don't like tomatoes.
He's gone there.
How do you
He's gone
explain
there.
that, my friend?
Well, they don't like it because.
The pips?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen them interviewed. But it's like if you could mould tap water and made it tomato shaped, then
The thing, I won't go on too much about tomatoes. However, the thing that
you're reassuring someone who you see in your mind's eye reaching for dial.
yes,
Okay.
but just
We
briefly,
did all those links about football, but tomato is the bit they're going to jump off.
or indeed any link
They weren't
in
about
the entire
football.
last years.
They were
10
about
years.
life.
But the thing that slightly troubles me about the tomato is just how tenuous the contents are. The linkage to the outer casing.
Yeah.
I mean, the vulnerability of those contents.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
It could go at any second.
Well, I tell you what, I'm getting very anxious about this because I'm anxious at how embarrassed I'm going to feel if someone texts in and do you know they're a fruit?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be able to live with that.
I can't. That's unacceptable.
Because you know what? They're not a fruit. I don't care about every common sense element, and I'm dubious about common sense, but having eaten a lot of fruit, they're not. I don't
Showing
care
off.
about the pips. Keep your pips. We do apparently, but no, it's not a fruit, and no one will tell me that it is. Good night.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
I tell you what, I did.
Classification-wise, they're a fruit, but cuisine-wise, they're a vegetable. We treat them as a vegetable.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, and I know they're not. They're not a fruit.
Tell
When
me
you
what
eat a
I know.
fruit, you think, oh, you eat a tomato, you think,
That's all right. I
yeah,
think.
it'll something to carry salad cream on.
Yeah.
Yum.
What were you going to say, my friend?
I was going to say something. I mean,
Come on.
earth-shattering, but unfortunately we've run out of time.
Oh,
So, because everything stops for the news and all that. So
Even tomatoes.
even tomatoes. Yes. Just trying to think of a way
What's
out.
your favourite tomato-based snack, though?
Ketchup.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
You did a little festival this week.
Yeah, when you say festival, there was no one sliding along in the mud, or there was no tree hogging in the early hours.
Outdoor
was-
It wasn't
toilets,
Hello
none of that
Reading.
stuff.
No, it was the radio festival.
Lovely.
Oh, a much more civilised affair than
It
what was
was.
just described, I should think.
Well, of course, you have been entered into the academy, I believe.
Inducted.
Inducted?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you get a cloth tote bag? It feels like that kind of festival.
You know what? I didn't. If there
Oh.
was a goodie bag, I didn't see it.
Oh, you would have loved a radio festival cloth tote.
In fact,
my
when I
guess.
came out after it, there was no car, and someone said to me, "Oh, yeah, Absolute cancelled your
You
car
came out,
home."
like-
I thought, how bad did it go that they've cancelled? I'll make him get a bus. We are not paying for that to go home. So that was a bit upsetting. But anyway, it felt like it went really well.
Well, so what did you do for it?
By the way, on the subject of inducted, as a word I really like, I noticed in the paper today there was a thing about Meghan Markle which used the word protocol, which is another.
Oh, nice.
Wow, what a word that is.
Love a protocol.
So I was interviewed by Matt Ford.
Oh,
Fordy.
I love me some Fordy.
Now, Matt Ford, what about this? What a guy.
He is, he's what a
he
guy.
had a gig in Glasgow the previous night, and then he got a train down to interview me at the British Library in London, and then he got, after that, immediately after, he dashed off to get a train back to Edinburgh. So in between Glasgow and Edinburgh, he came down to do that thing.
Wow.
That is...
And
He's the man.
not paid.
What?
I know.
Oh,
We better not have been. I wasn't.
first I thought it was commendable.
If he
Now I
was,
think it's
I'd-
a symptom of madness. What's
If
he
he
up
was,
to?
I'll never speak to him again.
He's
No.
just texted me.
What a hero.
Okay, so you weren't paid. Okay.
Yeah, he got 3,000 cloth tote bags.
Now you come to mention it, though, there was no goodie bag.
You've got to have a goodie bag.
Yeah.
Not even a little
What a
little
horror.
Roberts radio.
I mean, the whole thing about doing things that you're not paid to do is you get a goodie bag.
Surely.
Too late.
Oh, thank goodness we never
about
sound
that?
like entitled nightmares.
I know, but
So what sort
I've
of
tried to avoid that.
questions
Not
did he
that
throw you?
hard.
Was it a nice interview? I imagine it was.
It was, well, they started asking me about my view on, radio and stuff like that. It was a bit difficult.
What is your view?
Not expected that.
My view on radio was, it's all right.
I like this.
As long as I'm presenting it.
I think you have quite a binary view on radio. You've said in the past that there are two types of presenters, aren't there? There's the ones that...
Well, I did mention the fact that
Right.
there
Oh
are...
God,
Yeah.
Alan!
No, it's all right. You can say
it's-
these things in front
good.
of a radio crowd because they never think you're talking about them.
That's perfect.
Okay.
So I pointed out that there are some presenters who,
Oh.
if they just went blah blah blah, the show wouldn't suffer in any way or be any noticeably different.
Great. Did you name anyone?
No, I would
Oh,
never.
good.
I would never
would be
name
hurtful.
anyone. That would be wrong.
Yeah.
But in the age of robotics, it is a dangerous game to play because it's so replaceable
Yeah.
in that respect. I mean, I know we can be hit and miss, but
Speak for yourself.
but we are trying. We're trying to,
Yeah.
I said that, the interesting or funny is that's the deal. If you can't do either of those, get a milk round. That's
Wow.
my thing.
Respect to any milk people
No, but
out
they
there.
will. What will happen? These people say, no, I think what I actually said, now I come to remember it, is if the highlight of your last link was the time check, then you need to have a rethink. And I do think these people, God bless them, they will be replaced by robots because you've got to have a reason to remain. So that bit went well, I thought.
Yeah, sounds really good.
Because I say people think, well, he obviously doesn't mean me, so they
No,
were
no.
loving it. And then I said, I talked a bit about, I heard a podcast about Anglo-Saxon history. It was a bloke in a shed, and it's really interesting and lively, and he sounded like he loved it. And then I listened to a Radio 4 programme about Anglo-Saxon history, and it sounded a bit and the place just went completely silent.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So that's why I think they haven't put it up as the podcast. But anyway, I was only telling, I'm not saying that was a general rule, but in that particular instance.
Well, I always remember when Frank said to me, I said I was trying to be more honest in my life, and he said, yeah, it's a harder way to live though, Em. He wasn't lying.
No, but I tell you what, what I've seen this week is lines of mine, which I thought were pretty good, misquoted on Twitter
I hate that.
and destroyed. So I missed the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
The evidence. But anyway, it was, like I say, it was a fun day, but I didn't get a car back.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I think the reason I might have had my car cancelled.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, you give these things so much thought, don't you?
Oh, well, I mean,
A lot of time alone as a comic.
I think it was Sir Thomas Wyatt who said, they flee from me that sometime did me seek. And I thought it might be an example of that. But
And other things no one ever said about a cancelled cab.
so after post Ford interview, he shot off to Euston, and I met a historian called Claire, who took me to see the Magna Carta and the Codex Sinaiticus.
Brilliant.
Strange hookup.
Yeah. Well, I was after Beowulf, I'll be honest with you, but apparently it's in storage.
That's a shame.
Oh.
I mean, if Beowulf doesn't make the front window, it makes you wonder what they've got, the old
What else is out
British
the back?
Bible.
Well, quite.
So the Codex Sinaiticus, I don't know if you know it, is the oldest existing version of the Bible.
Okay.
Oh.
I think it's 3rd century. You'd love it out.
Yeah.
And the Magna
I'd be
Carta,
interested.
obviously, is the
Historical
Magna
document.
Carta.
Oh, I love a Magna Carta.
Yeah.
When was it signed, the Magna Carta?
1215.
Correct. And it made me think that 81215, which is our texted, is a bit like the personalised number plate that King John would have. Not quite right. Got the important bit, but the 8's in the way. What's that for, John? Well, I think it's the 1215 that really counts. Yes, but it was very exciting to go and see.
What did it look like up close?
The Magna Carta, the tiniest writing.
Oh, lovely.
But I mean,
a scribbler.
beautifully done. But it's like they were, and I tell you, the last bits get a bit smaller. Like, when you think, oh, hold on, I'm not going to get this in.
Running out.
Like that,
Like
yeah.
a
Oh,
postcard.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. I wrote a card to. I'm going to have to do the name drop.
Go on.
But Frank went, Neil Gaiman, a mutual
Yes.
friend of ours.
Oh, yes.
Neil always writes in the old school way. He doesn't do the email and the text.
Oh,
He likes
excellent.
a card through the post.
Lovely.
So I had to respond to him in green ink, and I couldn't fit it all in.
In green ink.
Yeah, he writes in. I think he wrote in green,
Green ink.
Yeah,
Well,
green
that's
ink.
what they
he
used
likes.
to. Used to be the sign of. Don't pursue anyone who writes to you in green ink, because
Did it?
it used to be part of the dangerous community.
No, it's more the creative community.
Yes.
Anyway, my point is, I ran out, and it was like two different hands throughout. The second hand was like the font of a
Oh, dear.
very strange person.
I have the opposite problem with the postcard. I think, how am I going to fill this enormous expanse of space?
Is that
So
because you're trying to write jokes in all of it? You're always
No.
thinking, I can't just put anecdote.
Yeah, it's just a bit. It's always. I'm just saying. Here's a postcard from me. Maybe I'll just write that forever now. Dear, here's a postcard from me, Frank. And because I've got, people buy you. I got 50 Radio Times covers postcards recently in a goodie bag. A goodie bag. Just mentioning that, so Absolute Radio can get an idea of the concept. Actually, they didn't organise the thing; it was just radio in general.
All right.
Okay.
But
The
anyway,
concept of radio organised.
so when I saw these radio, I think I need to start sending people postcards. And but
They're fun.
I know, but keep the content pleasant.
oh yeah,
You
of
can get in trouble
course.
for
No,
things.
I don't mean threatening letters type things. No. Threatening letters. That used to be a thing when I was a kid. Begging letters as well. Yeah, apparently he said begging letters. used to be people who specialised in it. Our way, down our way.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
I've had the pest control men in this week.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
You were like my sitcom husband there. I enjoyed that. Uh-oh, here she is.
Well, I'm worried about what pest we're talking about now.
I'm worried about whether that's some sort of euphemism thing. But carry on.
Okay, I will. I've had a population explosion in my house
Okay.
with moths.
Oh, moths.
Oh, dear.
They love me.
Oh, no.
Oh, they
Howard.
Moths is what you
do
don't want.
not like them.
Well, I have
Not
a
a fan.
lot of
Clothes.
luxury chunky knits
Yeah.
and a moth
We
loves-
got moths and knits.
They no. Can I just say, I do not have knits.
Okay.
However, I had to go quite hardcore on the type of pest control because I have a moths population explosion. But in addition to this, I discovered that one of my neighbours, who shall remain nameless,
Yeah.
I'd heard they'd had an infestation of our old friend, the bedbug.
Oh, dear.
Uh-oh.
I know.
When you say neighbour, do you mean literally next door?
Yes.
That's close.
It's too close for comfort.
Yeah, but you're not
I
sharing a
don't-
bed, are you? It's
I
just a
don't know if
wall
you-
in between, isn't it?
I think you can still use comfort, but it won't get rid of
So I decided, so I had an existing moth problem, Frank, and an anticipatory BBs
Well, I'd
issue.
rather have
Bedbugs.
bed bugs than a moth.
Would you?
Because you can be...
8, 12, 15.
Yeah.
Which would
bedbug
you
or
rather?
moth. This
Because
is
you
going to be
can...
as good as corpse or feces, isn't
Bedbug
it?
or, would you rather bedbug or moth? Frank, make the case for the bedbug over the
Well,
moth.
you can cover your itchy bedbug bites with your fabulous clothes. I know what it is to take a suit off a hanger and see a hole in the back of it. It's heartbreaking.
Oh, try this week. Put on a jumper. Didn't realise until I was at the venue. The moth had eaten into the cashmere. And let's just say no one was in any doubt as to the colour of my lingerie.
Your brassiere.
My brassiere.
Oh.
Brazier through cashmere.
It's quite fashionable now, though, isn't it? A bit of exposed brassiere. I think Madonna...
Not like that.
Better if
Madonna
you've done it
pioneered
deliberately, though.
Not
Yeah.
moth-eaten, unless you're going for apocalypse chic. So anyway, I decided to get rid of them because we know how we feel about bed bugs, especially as we discovered not only do they have beaks, but I've become a bit obsessed by them. And I've discovered they've been around since the dinosaurs.
What?
Yes.
What, they've been around pre-bed?
Pre-bed.
What were they
Yeah.
called then?
Well,
Floor bugs.
they made...
just lumped
they
in with all
loved
the
a
rest.
bird's nest and an owl burrow.
Owl burrow?
Yes, the burrowing owl.
Was there no trees there either?
No, the burrowing owl burrows underground. That's where they make their home. I found out so much about bed bugs, Frank.
No. Well, all sorts of things. Okay, I had no idea they were that old.
Well, I mean, don't insult the things.
No, but I mean, it feels like that we should be
I don't think it's-
deferential to
They're
them.
all-
I don't think it's the same ones, though. I think they're descendants. Of
Oh, yeah, I
Those
should
things
imagine
don't
so.
die. They don't die.
Maybe we're descended from them.
You reckon?
Oh,
What
they're
we need is some
disgusting.
sort of evolutionary scientist. to
More
phone up.
science on the show.
Oh, God.
They're older than bats, and apparently
Older than bats? Is that the title of your new book? Can I say, by the way, I was looking... You know, we spoke about audio books.
Yeah.
I was looking at... I'm on a thing called Audible.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And I looked on there, and I thought I'll have a look at Emily's book, right? 163 reviews, all 5-star.
Brilliant.
I mean, it's a phenomenon.
Brilliant.
Do. Oh, really?
All from F. Skinner.
Well done, though.
They are not.
Well done, you.
Oh, love
Indeed.
That's
him.
what I would say.
Love him.
Yeah. I was... what was I? Pleased.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Can I interrupt?
Moths and bedbugs.
Can
we
I
should
just say,
clarify.
I don't have bed bugs. I've got anticipatory bed
That's
bugs.
preventative.
Thank you, Frank.
Potential.
What you want is, you know
Potential
those
bed
velvet ropes they put around beds in stately homes that
Oh,
you
yeah.
visit?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you want.
Oh, like at Hampton Court.
You got one of those
Yeah.
anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, but I'm not that exclusive, it turns out. So I decided it was time for some serious action. These chaps came in. They're young, the pest people.
Are they?
17, one of the boys.
Wow.
I know. He had a lot of experience with pests, though. He was with his brother, older brother.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Oh, family business." He said, "Yeah." I said, was your dad a pest person?"
An exterminator.
Yeah, I didn't know what to call it. I said, "Pest person."
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, runs in the family." I thought, runs in the family's odd.
Yeah.
I tried to make a joke.
All right.
Because, I had to leave the house for 12 hours. While basically what they do is turn the heat up, they put the chemicals down, and they make it so
yes.
hot. Ray and I had to leave the house. I said, I made a joke.
You
I did
said
a pun.
to me earlier, nothing can be too hot for you.
Yeah, that's what you
Turns
said.
out.
Can I say, it wouldn't have been too hot. They made me leave the house.
Okay.
That's
I
a
would have
shame.
enjoyed it. And when I came back, having made a bug joke, I did make one bug joke. I said,
Okay.
"I won't bug you." They didn't flinch.
No.
No sense of humour, these pest people.
Well, I think
maybe
it's
they've
also
heard
that
it. Maybe
they-
they've heard it a time
I think
or
it's because
two.
they see it a lot. Like,
I mean, no
once had a-
disrespect.
I once had a builder who, straight-faced, said to me, "I'm sorry, but he was fixing the chimney, and he said, it's gonna cost more than we thought it was because the price of lead has gone through the roof." And he didn't even crack a smile. He was
Yeah.
just so focused on
And
building.
obviously, you would have cracked a smile had it not been preceded by the price hike information.
I'm not going to tell you what this... I mean, I went for the full Monty pest treatment. The treatment I went for is meant to
Is
repel...
this during the 12 hours you were out of the house? You went for the full Monty Pest treatment.
Well, this is meant to repel anything and everything.
But can I ask
From
a
your
question
domicile.
here? Because someone said to me the very opposite of this. When I had the moths, and they weren't seem to be like getting full infestation. They said what you need to do is put your clothes in the deep freeze.
Correct.
Oh.
Which is the
Extreme
exact
temperatures.
Oh, well, I see.
Okay. I like that he conceded. Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I came back, Frank, and they had said, "Look, it'll be very hot." I said, I love the heat. I don't mind. I got back. The wallpaper had come off my walls.
Wowie.
My decorative logs had shrunk.
Oh,
I hate it when that happens.
me too.
Yeah.
My sheepskin was
It's cold. It's usually cold that does that to me.
extreme temperatures.
One end or the
My
other.
sheepskin had shriveled to nothing.
What?
Yes. I mean, not a sort of Ron Atkinson or John Motson type sheepskin. I mean,
Yeah.
my rugs. I
Yeah.
have 3.
Right.
Oh, dear, they'd become
Now you've got to use them as a chamois.
Oh, dear.
I didn't even use them on the car.
Well, what happened?
Shriveled sheepskin, decorative logs shrunken, and wallpaper hanging off pathetically.
That's a terrible thought, because if there was some sort of climate crisis and it got incredibly hot in this country, it suggests that sheep would be strangled by their own pelts. What a terrible... That's
Enjoy
like...
your breakfast, everyone.
Well, it's the skin base, I think. That
That's
made
like,
it shrink.
there's a... You remember I was talking about William S. Burroughs the other week?
Oh, yeah.
He wrote a book with Kerouac, and the title was based on a report they heard on the radio of a fire at a zoo. And the book was called "And the Hippos Were Boiled in Their Tanks."
Oh.
Good morning.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
496 has texted, the 8 in 8/12/15 is fine, as there were 8 copies of the Magna Carta.
Wow, was that?
Pleasing.
lovely.
Thank you, David, for that.
If that's right, then you can imagine King John
that's
saying,
right, I
"No,
like
no,
the
well,
doubt."
it's the 8." It's just there's 8
Trying to
copies.
justify.
Okay, King John. Okay, Jack.
So I came back to the house to see the
Post heat wave.
Oh, yeah.
expecting some sort of pet cemetery.
Had the
I
pest
thought-
control people left at that point when you returned, or were they just there in like
No, they-
speedos?
No.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
One of them was playing
Fabulous tans.
tequila.
I mean, a pina colada, yeah.
It was it was a Club Tropicana video. If they wore anoraks in the Club Tropicana video. No, one was playing Candy Crush, I think, on his phone.
Okay.
And, I mean, they were lovely boys and they did a great job. However, when I got back, I thought, well, I've got this carnage. That's the tax I paid. on the pet cemetery, or the bug
So
cemetery.
there's dead moths everywhere.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? I went upstairs. I said, "Oh, where are the corpses?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, we didn't see any." I said,
Uh-oh.
"Sorry." There weren't any bed bugs, as it turned out.
Okay.
So I should be grateful for this. I didn't see any dead moths either.
Had they hoovered
So-
them up, or was it a false alarm?
I don't know whether they'd had their hands on the Dyson, but I think they did a good job. It was expensive, though.
They did a good job of getting rid of the moths that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? I mean, how much would you expect to pay for that sort of work?
Well, I think what you've got to think of, first of all, bed bugs are a horrible thing, but also, we're coming up to the summer, you'll soon be in your
Sure.
bikini. You don't want bed bug marks. But also, I think with moths, you've got to think about what you're going to lose. I mean, your
True.
years in the fashion industry.
I've got a really impressive collection of cashmere.
Yeah, I once
They
came
don't
close
just
to sobbing over a Smedley that had been lost to...
What is a Smedley?
John Smedley. It's a very nice knitwear
You've worn them.
brand.
You're just not aware.
Lovely.
Okay.
Shout
I've
out
seen
to
you
John
wear them.
Smedley in Matlock.
I don't want anyone to think they just eat jumpers and stuff. That they do eat you. They ate my jacket.
And a
Which
suit.
jacket?
Yeah, I've had a suit
What,
go.
your sheepskin? Which jacket?
No, just a normal suit jacket. A big hole in the shoulder.
Yeah.
That looked like
Sick.
a
Brutal.
parrot had exploded.
Oh,
Okay, how much? Well,
So
so
kinda
how
cool
much?
then.
How much are we thinking? How much?
What
What would
do you
you
think?
pay, Al? Here's the question.
Okay, should we go to Frank first?
31. No.
£31.
I'd expect to
kidding.
pay a couple of hundred quid.
You think a
probably.
couple of hundred?
Yeah, to get that done properly.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
What did you-
Higher.
Not into... Not out of the hundreds. We're not going out of the hundreds, are we?
It's 800 quid. 850.
Whoa!
Do you think I was done?
Well, no, because hold on, you've probably got a jacket worth 800 quid.
Can I
have
say
you?
that is a lot of money to me? I don't want people to think I'm throwing this money around willy-nilly.
No,
You
but
can say that. Nobody's believing it, but you can say it.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying is what you would lose in the clothes would be worth
Yeah.
more than that. So see it as an investment.
What a
Yeah.
lovely attitude. You're like
Yeah.
my priest.
He's very wise.
Not in the flea bag sense.
No. Why
Not that
Flea-
kind of priest.
Spoilers.
If only Fleabag had gone C of
It's
E,
gone.
it wouldn't have been a problem.
Good point. Good point.
Why? That was a plot failing.
I'm just saying, Frank, I might stick with the bed bugs and moths next. I mean, they're cheaper
Yeah.
dates, aren't they? They're the best controllers.
No, I think
$8.50 a day. Who are these guys? Sinatra?
you did the right thing.
$8.50 for what? I mean, please.
I'd be worried that there weren't any dead moths anywhere. Then.
Yeah.
That suggests
concerns
like
me.
they're sitting in a chill out room somewhere,
Yeah.
waiting for the temperature to.
Oh, they're not. Oh, they're post rave, aren't they?
It's a horrible feeling, though, that when you find the holes in the clothes, I think you did the right thing to deal
Did
with
you?
it.
Oh, good. It made me feel so much better. Do you have pest problems, Alan?
We've got a mouse. We've got a mouse.
Just the one.
We think it is just the one, but it's been in the bedroom. We've had a bedroom mouse. My wife
How
could
do you
hear it. It woke her up. She could hear it scampering the other
Sure, it
day.
was a mouse. That wasn't you.
Pretty sure it
Clearing
was
your
a
history
mouse.
midnight.
Yeah, but remember Al telling us that he was brilliant at coming home quietly.
Oh, I am good at tiptoeing.
That's
That is
one
a
of his
fact.
what great things to show off about. It's all that
Tiptoeing.
walking up the edge of the stairs. It
Really
was
good at
a Very MI5.
Also,
Yeah.
but Frank, I didn't know that.
Stand by that. If anything,
Yeah.
my skills have got better in the intervening year
I
or
didn't
so.
think of the mouse as a sort of bachelor character. I thought
you're
there was
right.
more of a
They're
family
breeders,
set
aren't
up.
Yeah,
I'm
didn't
worried,
think-
actually. You're right.
I mean, he sounds a bit of a loner.
solitary, morose.
Concerned.
That's it. It was a
Goth mouse.
misprint. Morose.
An emo.
Yeah, e-mouse. Yeah. No, I'm already feeling sorry for that mouse. You can imagine it.
Has he
like-
got a tiny black leather jacket?
the fact that he's in the bedroom is like he's a starving artist in the garret. Oh, he's like Thomas Chatterton. I can see him now lying across the trap, slightly empurpled.
Oh, I see him, Frank, with a long black leather matrix coat.
Oh, do
like
you?
a tiny little one fitted.
Oh no, I
Maybe
see
dyed
him,
his hair black, Robert
Wh-
Smith style.
White, sort of Shelley type shirt, bishop sleeves. Yeah. Well, keep us posted on
I
him
will.
because
I will.
I'm hoping he might escape in some way, in a swinging from a very, very small chandelier, if you've got such a thing.
Oh, yeah, the house is full of small chandeliers, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me that.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Our 978 have got in touch about, they're calling them smokes, which are the...
Smoke bombs.
Smoke bombs.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, they are a company, we have a company who sell them getting in touch.
Okay.
Your discussion on smokes, we're an all-year retail firework business and we sell them. They're predominantly purchased for gender reveals, you know, those baby parties. You get a blue...
What?
Yes.
No, I've
Yes.
never heard of that in my
Yeah.
life.
I know. Photography and... Wait for
That's
this
the
one.
sell-by dates going on that industry, isn't it?
Wait
Gender
for this.
reveals.
I thought gender was just a bourgeois construct.
Okay,
Social
calm down,
construct
everyone.
entirely.
Listen, do you want to hear
It's
the
not
third
science.
one? Stop it, you two. Do you want to hear the third one?
Go on.
Battle reenactments.
That
on.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Phil
That
Collins.
makes a lot of sense.
Phil Collins in the Civil War.
But
Hello.
But why would you have a coloured smoke for battle reenactment?
I don't know. I think they might just
For-
have general smoke, Al.
Maybe you can get like a blue and white one for the Scots and
Confederacy.
other ones
What,
for other...
suggesting that one of them is on fire? Yeah.
I don't
I've
know.
never heard of the gender reveal smoke bomb. I mean, that
Yeah.
must got to be outdoors, hasn't it?
Didn't even know there was parties for that.
Oh, yeah, they have the cakes.
Is it
So you
like-
cut into it and you either have a pink or a blue inside, and that's how you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've had friends who've had that. So the woman,
No.
they all
I've
stand
never
around
heard
a
of it.
cake and the knife goes in. And then everyone screams when the first piece comes out and you discover if it's a pink or blue cake. I mean, I'd always hope it was a girl simply because pink cake is nicer than blue cake.
Tastier.
I mean, I
Right.
love a boy, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I love a boy.
When I make blue cakes, the blue is caused by WKD. That's what I put in. It's just full of WKD.
Do you remember those?
I'm not much of a baker.
Do you remember those indicators you used to get on the side of old mini clubmen that used to stick up? They used to call them lollipop indicators. They used to
Yes.
stick up to tell you. I think I'd use that mechanism for the gender announcement. Anyway,
we
Speaking
can
of
move
vans.
on. I'd like to bring to your attention, in my role as motoring correspondent on this show,
course.
a subject close to my heart has been in the news this week, and it is in-cabin messiness. There's been a van driver who I think has got 3 points and a fine for having the most untidy van interior, I suppose, that has been seen on the internet ever. And the police put up a picture of it. It is disgusting. It's really
Wow.
gross. For many years, I've done some jokes about how once I took my wife and kids to the swimming pool, and on the way back, this is the day after I imposed a car rule of no eating in the car.
you
Oh.
actually drop your kids off at the swimming pool.
No, we went
Literally.
swimming. We all right. We all went swimming.
I didn't think anyone
I see
actually
the-
did
I
that.
see
I
what you're
didn't.
doing there. I'm going to move on. But no, we went swimming, and on the way back, my wife tried to give the kids a croissant each during a short journey. I mean, that is one of the messiest car
Oh,
foods I
yeah,
can imagine.
What next? Baklava?
But this, good point. Very sweet, isn't it?
Baklava.
Oh,
Oh.
I mean, it's as my son would call it, lish, which
And it's
is
always
his abbreviation
presented
for delicious.
it's always presented rather sort of amateurishly, which I
Yeah.
like. It's you say, Frank, how you feel. It's in a fruiterer's sort of plastic container.
It always looks as well like it was better when it started out on its journey. That's the general look of baklava, I would say. I've never feel I've seen it at its peak. Because you used to get broken biscuits in shops. You used to get
Oh,
them
yeah.
cheap. There's an element of that about. Oh,
Yeah.
what a shame. Well, I'll eat it, but what a shame. Yeah.
And the I don't know, the green pistachio sprinkle. Could have lived without it.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're right, though, the green. I'd forgotten about that altogether.
It just feels like a sort of afterthought in
Well,
the
I suppose.
kitchens.
Yeah, but it's a signature sprinkle, which I think is what dogs call it.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We're talking about Britain's messiest van.
Britain's messiest
Oh.
van, yes.
and they called it Footwell chaos.
You know, one thing that I did enjoy about, just like I enjoyed the word protocol this morning on the front one of the papers, I'd forgotten that was called the Footwell.
Me too.
Oh, right.
And I enjoyed being reminded of it.
It's one of those words only police use.
Footwell.
Well, I'm not saying...
I bet Al uses it.
I use it.
I knew it.
I could tell
Probably 18 times a week.
Can we go through... I mean, the Footwell chaos was sort of like an ecosystem constructed entirely
grim.
of fast food. It was what I imagined Donald Trump's bin to look like.
Yeah.
There were McDonald's,
Lots of
discarded
McDonald's.
wrappers,
Greg's.
Quavers. I saw that distinctive yellow packet. Can't miss it. Several packs of ciggies.
Oh.
Some cans, discarded cans.
Yeah, I got to tell you, well, let me give you an example. I remember giving a guy a lift once, and when he got in the car, he said to me, "You should get a grant from the council for carrying this much rubbish." And I've always, my car has always been a bit unlaundered.
Okay.
And since I've had a kid, the backs... I actually took a photo on the strength of this thing, which I'll put on Instagram. But I'll
Lovely.
show... It's...
You're so visual today.
yeah, and I have... This
Everything's
is
a
not one of those
picture.
where I've set it up. It's not like the was it the Civil War corpse photo when the bloke moved some of the dead bodies about for composition?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Decomposition, more like.
Hey.
What do you say? There you go. There's my back seat. We'll put that on the thing. But
Oh, well,
yeah.
do you want to
So-
see a picture of my back seat?
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Is the
Yes.
punchline that you've only got a two-seater car? What is it?
Yeah. Is this going to be a junk in the trunk reference?
That's messy,
Carry
though.
on.
That is
I thought you were
messy.
reading out a text from Jack Grealish.
Oh, dear. Oh, I need to find my back seat.
There it is. No. Well, I'll put this
tell
on it.
you what's
What I'm
on
saying is it so bad to have a lot of rubbish in your car?
Well,
What, junk in your trunk?
the argument against this particular individual is that it's on the driver's side footwell, and some of the litter might even get under the pedals.
Yeah, under the pedals.
Under the pedals is a problem.
I can see that's a problem.
It's a problem.
Whenever Al talks about anything to do with cars, Frank, he sounds so like the man who did my driver's awareness course.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think that will be my next performing career, actually. Once I rinse all
No,
the jokes.
you're right. There
I'm
is a
gonna be
difference in the tone of the voice, isn't there?
Yes, he sounds...
No, it goes a little bit more like that.
I mean, no, because if it goes in the driver's side... It was like when that driver's awareness man said to me, oh, what I call it, Smidsy. Sorry, mate, I didn't see you.
Oh, wow.
About the cyclist. Al goes a bit Smidsy.
I've definitely got this in my game.
It's like that, that police stop action VHS somebody bought me years ago. Do you remember those? They used to show bad driving things.
Yeah.
And they started getting celebrities doing the voiceover. But the one I had was when they still used police officers.
Right.
And it'd say, like, the quiet afternoon in Dagenham High Street. Until this joker turned up. And then it'd be, we've all done a 3-point turn. It's a pretty basic procedure, except for this character. Oh, man. It was tremendous stuff.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I was going to say to Frank, did you see, we were talking about Britain's messiest van. Did you see what Thames Valley Police tweeted about it on the socials? They said, a tidy cab equals a tidy mind.
Yeah.
I see that bit. This is where I have a problem.
Over to you,
I
Al.
disagree with that.
No, me too.
I don't think it's true. I just think
Who
they
wants
should...
a tidy mind anyway?
Yeah, exactly. And also I think the police should just stick to enforcing the law and not tell us about their views on mental...
Yeah, psychology.
Yeah. just put something like, some of this rubbish could have got under the pedals, therefore we've had to give 3 points of
Yeah.
a fine.
He's done the
Yeah.
voice again.
I don't know what this clown thought he was playing at.
Meanwhile, this character...
I blame that. Who was that woman who wrote the Tidying Up book?
Oh,
Marie Kondo.
Marie
Yes,
Kondo.
changed the world.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe what can happen if you're not careful with someone like that is that someone someone's personal neurosis, yes, I said neurosis, possibly disorder, becomes spread worldwide. Thank you.
That's
I will
dangerous.
say this.
What they need is to make her flat really, really hot to get rid of her.
Yes. I have sometimes got a bit of a messy car, like there's, the odd sandwich box or, crisp wrapper or whatever.
Sure.
But what I try to do, and I'll pass this on as a life hack.
Oh, here we go.
For
Hold
our
on.
readers.
Hold on.
Come on.
Let's get a pencil and paper.
Okay, I've got my pen poised.
When I leave the car, be it to get fuel or go home,
Hang on, be it.
I like
love
to
that.
take that rubbish with me because you nearly always walk past a bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really revelatory, isn't it? And what annoys me about this story is this van belongs to a builder who presumably is more often parked next to a skip than not.
No, but...
Oh, you're going to say don't put litter in a skip?
No, well, I don't think you
No,
should.
of course you don't.
You should only,
You don't do that, do you?
You should only put broken computers and chairs where the seat has come off the metal bottom.
And one piece of wood with 2 nails hanging out of it.
Now, what this bloke has done is created rubbish and kept it in his car. Not like those... Look, I saw a couple just pull over, put a used nappy on the side of the pavement and then drive off again.
I know, but
This
Ray was
bloke is-
desperate.
This bloke is looking after his own rubbish. Respectamundo.
Yeah, I'm split on this
it,
because twice recently I've seen people throw litter out of their car near my home, and I don't think I can put a percentage on my rage. It's over 100 for sure.
I know, but I also think this obsession with tidiness, I mean, I think there is something to be said for... No, I'm sorry. I think that driver is probably a creative, fascinating man. I mean, I can't imagine Van Gogh saying...
I don't want that from a builder, by the way. But
I just can't imagine Van Gogh saying, could you give a vacuum to the old... I mean, he doesn't have a car, but some sort of horse and carriage.
Well, you would defend him with your filthy old house. People in there trying to rescue him from rodents and vermin. Goodness, it is boiling. That's what it needs.
I know. I feel defensive with my pest problem. There was someone who also said about it, Frank, well, I'll never criticise the state of my wife's car again. Oh.
Yeah, but I didn't think they had Instagram in the 1970s. That's like, those letters that they said it was sent during World War One. It's just arrived. Grandmother, blah, blah, blah.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank,
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Paul Doctor has been in touch, so he sounds like you'd get on with him.
Okay.
Because you like all things doctor-related. Frank, I need that clip of The Loneliest Boy. Do you have it available?
The Loneliest Man.
He calls
You
it The
mean-
Loneliest Boy.
He's the loneliest man in the world.
I'm playing this for Alan's mouse.
Currently in a Byronic ruffled shirt.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully he's currently in a humane trap that's by the fireplace.
Oh, we're all in the humane trap, let's face it.
Good point. I like it when the show
be
tiptoes
more.
into philosophy.
There'll be more relationship counselling from Frank Skinner tomorrow night on Radio 4. And now a book at bedtime.
Meanwhile, over in Paul Doctor land,
Yeah.
he needed that clip of The Loneliest Man because he says, I really want to come to your show up here in Glasgow in the autumn. None of my friends are coming with me, weirdos. What's the etiquette for attending stand-up solo? Frank Skinner.
Well, the first and perhaps the most important aspect is
Can I say Frank's show is called Show Business, by the way, and it's
Showbiz.
marvellous. Showbiz, I apologise.
I think the first thing, etiquette-wise, is that you don't tell the comedian you're going to see that you've scoured your friendship network and can't find anyone who wants to come. That's your first mistake.
Okay.
Secondly, I go to stand up on my own. I went to see Mr. Alan Cochrane on his own.
Yeah.
Sounds
On my
great.
own recently.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. In fact, sometimes you can be thinking, oh, God, are they liking it? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an, a great many, obviously I wouldn't not want to be with my dear Kath, but, often when I go to
A
things,
Jane Austen character.
I do like to,
Both of them.
but, You know, when you go to something, you can stay as long as you like, and yeah, and you don't have to pretend. So I think, in many ways, it's a good idea to go. And I'm not saying that just to sell those annoying singles that you get left at the end of a gig.
See, that's another way of reframing it for this character that's texted. Like,
He's gone into driving mode.
There might be some single tickets that the artist wants rid of.
Yeah.
Like, you could be doing a favour for the box office.
The
Also,
artist formerly known as Lad,
Yeah.
as New Lad.
Also, I've had lots and lots of correspondence of people going to my gigs on their own and then meeting someone else turn out to be the love of their life.
That's
Well,
nice.
may I suggest
Yeah, I made it up, but
Sounds
it's
made
still
up.
nice.
Sounds made up, but it's
they need to do. The good thing about the Edinburgh Festival is you get very into that mode. Once
Yeah.
you're at a comedy festival, you start off a bit tentative, a bit shy, and then all your pride goes out the window.
Yeah.
You turn into the loneliest man or woman in the world. You go to everything on your own.
Yeah,
Maybe don't sit right on the front row, because then it'll become conspicuous. But if you're feeling self-conscious and you're attending a comedy gig alone, I would suggest one way of making yourself feel less noticeably alone is just add a lanyard as if you work in the industry and you're meant
Yeah.
to be there.
That's a good idea.
Top tip.
Also, worth asking yourself what's so terrifying about your own company.
Oh,
That you
don't
don't
want to
think
feel
about that for too long.
It's not
Put
like
you into a tailspin, you might not go.
It's okay.
I
You're
sometimes
good.
wish everyone came on their own and they wouldn't
Yeah.
sit there rattling. Eh? So,
Wow.
yeah,
Back in the van.
I think
Oh,
it's
yes.
I think it's all right.
Okay,
To
I
go.
do as well.
I-
I respect people.
I've been to the good thing about seeing a comedian. So when I went and saw Al, he was on for an hour. I went home. If you go to the theatre on your own and there's an interval, that's when you feel like a Nelly Bing Bong. When you're just sitting in the interval. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
there's an Edward Hopper painting of someone.
Yes.
You know, his paintings are all often about loneliness.
I
Yeah.
do.
Someone sitting in an empty theatre during the interval, and it's I don't know why
That would
not?
never happen in your gigs, Frank.
Well,
Because usually people have met the love of their life that he made up a moment ago.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I met a few people who.
Turning
Anyway.
into some sort of speed dating. Oh, God.
Yeah, the speed dating and the speed dating.
Oh, no.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
It did make me wonder if this chap who's been driving the van with all the litter in it, he got 3 points and a fine because of the danger of the litter going under the pedals. But I think we might be overlooking the advantage of the litter going over the pedals. Like if he's got short legs, like 7 or 8
Like me and Scott
canned
Parker.
drink cans squashed.
Oh, it's an unreliable braking
Could end
mechanism.
up like cruise control if he puts enough litter on there, couldn't
I
it?
remember in the old days when people used to always tell you things
Cruise
about.
control.
You could put a brick on there, couldn't he?
I don't know if this still happens. People always had, when I was a kid, people always had stories about cars when I got into my teens.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you get the revs right, you don't never need to use the clutch.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You can hear it. You can
Yeah.
hear it. You know when you
True.
say. And cruise control. The people used to tell me about having a plank of wood across the pedals that they used to. I'm
Cruise
sure they-
control I only ever see in a headline in a Sunday supplement in an article about Tom Cruise.
Yes,
It's the only
exactly.
time I ever see that phrase.
It's like my Frankly Speaking interview headline.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what I found. I had to look in my car to see, to take that photo and also to see what I'd got. And in the door flap, my side, the driver's side, there's a coaster.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Not something you use that often in a car.
No.
you do.
Unless you're a very, very careful driver.
Yeah.
Coaster in my door flap, I know.
I liked one of the... sorry, were you... did you want to continue? Have I interrupted you, my
Well,
darling?
no. What I also found a plastic bracket.
Oh.
Now, I've got plastic brackets in the house. Brackets generally, you know when you find, it's a generic term, but you find what you can only describe as a bracket. You don't know where it's come from or what it fits, but you just keep it. I've got about 6 in the house.
Right.
You've got a lot of unhung pictures.
I don't want to throw away that bracket,
No.
but I don't know what they're even for.
Well, is it a shelf bracket? You
Well,
don't
who
know.
knows?
Might
It's
be
just
for
a
the
bracket.
picture.
No, I think people leave brackets in the house as a sort of a... The way people used to have, like, religious things on the walls and stuff like that. It never did anything. That's my theory.
The van man, I mean, he's not there, but the Britain's messiest van, someone else commented, at least he didn't get a fine for littering, #Meals on Wheels. And it occurred to me, that's not a phrase I've heard in a while. It
Meals
seems
on
quite a
Wheels.
70s concept. It used to be, I'm afraid, we used it as a bit of a term of abuse at school if someone
Yeah.
did something that made them seem slightly out of touch.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
can say, oh, all right, Meals on Wheels. But is that still going as a service?
I think,
think it is,
it'll
yeah.
be called something else.
How
won't it?
marvellous.
I'm pretty sure we'll get emails this week saying Meals on Wheels
Emails?
is still going.
Yeah, I'm sure it still
Emails.
exists, but I would say that it's got the word community in it.
Oh, you're so right.
Like that's I'm confident. Well, Quentin Crisp, of course, said that if you never ever tidy your flat, after 4 years, it never gets any dirtier.
Right.
Good.
So you never dust or
I'd
anything.
like to see the science behind that.
Yeah, as he said, it's just a question of keeping your nerve. But I met someone who interviewed Quentin Crisp at his
Abode.
in his house, I think, on the
Where
Lower
would he
East
live?
Side
Oh, he's very Greenwich Village.
in New
yeah.
York, I think. And she said it was just a pile of rubbish, the flat mainly, and they had to sit on the bed.
Oh.
And she said she could hear scurrying going on.
That'll
No.
be your mate, the loneliest mouse in the world.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's
Well, maybe
difficult.
you just need to allow yourself to feel the lack of control. It's tidying is, they call it the paradox of control, don't they? The idea that,
they?
you're attempting to try and write something which you can never really keep on top of, trying to keep your house like a hotel. Okay,
Good point.
thank you.
Well, I think too much space can make you feel desolate. That's my hence, and I think Ofsted backed this up with their report that one of the trouble areas for education is white working class children in seaside towns. One of the worst performers.
You think it's that they've got too much space around?
Someone told me it's because they can see the
Interesting.
horizon and the sense of everything must end, and there's no point in really trying. How you doing there in Bridlington?
Strange end to a wide-ranging show.
It was,
I think
yeah.
it's fair to say.
It's a different kind of an ending. But, it is summer holiday time. So anyway, thanks so much for listening. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.